Welcome in Koselig Café. It's the first episode of our second season, Norway, Your Way. I'm Nina Kozłowska.
I'm Dariella Scavino. I'm really happy to be connected with you today to talk something that is quite a thing, and it's how you make your new home in a northern country feel like home. No, make your home away from your old home. So we're gonna share our stories, Nina and I, and also we're gonna do therapeutic exercise. Some exercise at the end where we are gonna see which elements we can add to our home to make it feel more cozier and familiar. So let's share some
wait
story.
for that part. So stick around. Dariella, tell me some interesting stories of your origin and how have you made your home in Norway?
Well, right now comes to my mind to think about the place where I moved. I moved to Norway in 2020 in the pandemic, and I moved to my boyfriend, no husband, place. He had a typical bachelor apartment with all the walls painted in blue. He had recently renovated the house, the kitchen and the living room especially, and they all look very, very nice. Those very blues. And it didn't feel very familiar to me because it is a very Scandinavian style at his place, which I like, but it was definitely not my style as a single, at the moment, Latin yogini woman. So the apartment was mainly blue, also a little white, with touches of black and gray.
That's very Scandinavian.
Back in home in Lima, my place was at my house. I built my yoga and meditation studio, and I also have my therapy sessions there. And it was filled with paintings and carvings and Buddhas I brought from India and other items I brought from Egypt. So the walls were white, but with a little warm yellow tint, complemented with green curtains, a lot of windows, and the floor was an old ceramic floor. This traditional, it was more than 50 years old floor, and with some yellow and green pattern. So, yeah, it's a different place. So it didn't feel mine. It was not mine. It was, that's one single place. And
it was his.
Yes. So when we decided to get married, to have a family, we decided to buy a house. So we moved south. He was in Lillestrøm. So we moved far from the city and the high prices of Oslo and Lillestrøm, and we found a lovely neighborhood here in Horten, just an hour south of Oslo by car or train, where the prices were more affordable, and we have very clear interests now as a family, as a couple, to have a new design, which was going to be my decoration, colors and plants, and he was very interested in the electronics and the appliances. So we complemented each other and made new changes to the house to make it feel like home. And for example, I have always wanted a blue kitchen, and he was totally fine about it. And on the other hand, he wanted all
your kitchen, by the way.
Sorry?
I love your kitchen.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
I love it too. It's my little paradise home, no, at the end, because we did everything we wanted it to have. He as well, no, he's an engineer. He's in electronics, and for him was very important which brand and how integrated are the appliances on your phone. I think that was totally new for me, of course. But then, as in every new relationship, you start a little, and we don't have your or his, starts being our home. So as every couple, we were creating our home together, and that required compromise. So we were blending traditions, which we were trying to adapt. That is in terms of decoration. But then there were things that I loved from Norway that I took as mine now. For example, the recycling system. I think it's amazing. Back in Peru, you have to carry the plastic somewhere if you want to recycle. Otherwise, nothing gets recycled. So it was easy for me to start separating trash and knowing that it will be treated in an environmentally friendly way. And then other thing that was very important for me, and it's very important for many Latin background foreigners in general, is food and cooking. Is feel okay when with my food. And normally I used to have a lot of fruit, vegetables, avocados every day. Spices. So our kitchen now reflects a mix of influences. No, my partner had never had so many spices before, ever. So now we have a variety of ingredients and food options.
What are some of the new spices for you?
For me, not for him. For him, it would be all the Indian spices. Have you heard of like garam masala? Not curry, but it's a churmas or curries are a mix of ingredients. If you read the label, you will see that it has cardamom, cayenne pepper, different spices that sometimes you would have one or another, but then you have them all combined. Well, I have them all, and I don't have it just as powder. I also have it like seeds. So that was something. And on the other side, something that is key for me to have at home, and he took it as his own, is to have a plant with the chilies from Peru. You have visited my house and you've seen I have plants in the living room window.
Yeah.
Those are chili plants.
I have watered that plants.
When I was away, yes. So I found those chilies in Spain, the real chili, in the market in Valencia. So real ají amarillo is the name, yellow chili. So we took it home. We ate it, but I removed the seeds. I dried them. I then germinate. I kept it in the dark with water, started growing, and then I put it in a little pot, in a bigger pot. Now it's in a big pot, and gives me, I have 5 plants of those, and I have a chili, so twice a week. I have that chili. Something you can find here if you shop online. There's some, in the immigrant stores, I have found it in Oslo, but it's not common. So I think that having our weekly menu and selections, having so much from my side, and it's from Norway, because our breakfast is very Norwegian. Like I like caviar and the Norwegian smoked salmon, and we have fish once a week also. So yeah, that was very important for me to feel that we were building a home, but it took time. It was not from one way to another. We have to go to many, many immigrant stores until I found that I have a little part of what was my food back in Peru. But if you have heard, maybe, I don't know, that Lima and Peruvian cuisine is the capital of gastronomy in the world. It has top 5 restaurants in the world. It's a very wide and delicious cuisine.
Yeah, moving from that to Norwegian cuisine is something.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's what I want to share today, no? About the place and the food and how we take the best from both us, because he's Norwegian, but also he has his choices in Norway, and he's from Helgeland, and I come from Lima, but I was raised in Argentina. So we both mix our ingredients, personal ingredients, to create this cozy home, which I can say it's my paradise in the world. I love traveling. I love going back to Peru, visit my family in Argentina. But home, it's here. It's this place. And I want to highlight today something, and it has to do with the exercise of later. And it's that for me, it was very important to create this cozy and familiar home, starting from my close circle, starting from me and my partner in this case, which is my close circle. Some other people may share a livelihood and apartment with other friends, and that's their closer circle, the closer system. Mine was with my husband, and we have nurtured and created this cozy place where I feel I belong, and I feel it's also my safe space, provides me stability. It's my refuge. And what about you, Nina? I want to hear from you, your stories.
I agree that it's important to build a home together with people you live in, or if you live alone, then you also have some community, and that's also like I feel that people gives you the biggest sense of home, this feeling, because they are the most important. So I feel because we are still like moving all the time. We moved just like a few months ago again, and I was always moving quite a lot. Even in childhood, I moved twice before I was 6 years old. So I guess I never really had this sense of home, or like it wasn't so like I had a sense of home, but it wasn't my home since always. So I never looked at it like this is the home. I was like, okay, this is my home now, but there was other home before. There will be another in the future. So I never really put so much attention to it, and it wasn't so important. Then I was studying and traveling, doing other stuff, working and dancing in the evenings. I was almost never home. I didn't put so much attention into that space. But now when I'm over 30, maybe it's the age, I feel more of these needs. And even if we are moving all the time, I am now I'm not all the time, but very often now I feel very happy about this new apartment, new place where I have lots of plants like that. But I counted and I have 22 plants, and I'm really happy with them. They are big, some that we even took from Poland, brought with us, and some are really small, like a small monstera.
Sorry, then you have to explain me how to bring a plant from Poland. Please continue.
By car. It was like we like Piotr drove, and with Felix I went by plane, but Piotr drove with the dog and with plants and with a car full of stuff that I packed because I'm queen of Tetris. So I packed the car really, really well. There was like not a single space
now your
left.
skills.
And on the front seat there was the dog and the plant also. So
okay,
that was very important because this plant was the first gift from my husband to me. So it stayed with us. When I got it, it was like that, and now it's almost my height. So we it's very important. So I think plants are very important in the house. Also, I like to have pictures and paintings, and now I finally have a few of them, all of them made by my friends. Like this one here is painted by my friend. Shout out to Joanna Wałek from Poland, who painted that for my wedding, and I'm very happy with it, and I always love that. Even though I haven't seen the spectacular aurora yet, I always have one in the living room, and I always invite people from Poland. I say, "Hey, do you want to see aurora? Just like come to Oslo." So I really love this one, and I think it's very special to me to have paintings made by friends with like kind of the soul, and it always just lightens up the atmosphere, the mood. I like to have pictures also of our family, and that's very nice. But I want to say about it about the home also, because we rent the apartment, and it can be frustrating that you can't do everything you want in this place, even though we will live here, I hope, for some years, a few years. We can't drill in the wall, so we can't put a shelf, or we can't really make some changes that would space more a home for us, because we wanted to have a macrame also from our wedding on this wall, so that aurora would be like surrounded by macrame. I thought it would be amazing, but the macrame is so heavy that we can't put it on the wall with only these tapes and stuff because it just falls down. We tried 3 times, it fell down almost on our heads, so no more trying. But I feel this also can be challenging for immigrants, for people who move often, live in apartments that are rented, and they can't really make all of the adjustments. Or sometimes you move from very far away and you can't bring your own plants or I don't know, your favorite furnitures or something because it's too big. So I think this is a challenge, and it is also for me. So we are like slowly making this finding these things that really matter, and now I'm very happy. Also, what is funny is that as I said in episode 0, I have a view over Holmenkollen ski jumping. And in Zakopane, in my hometown, there's also a ski jump. And I felt that this is quite funny that after so many years of living in Krakow, in other places, in Horten, where there is no ski jump, I finally have again a ski jump in the view, which is like, it wasn't so important to me, but now I kind of see this detail, Yeah.
It's something familiar, for sure.
Yeah. I always also think that home is not only your personal space, not only your apartment, but your surrounding, your neighborhood. So after a while of living in one place, you have some favorite routes, and now I have some routes that I always take when I walk out with the dog, or you have your favorite stores, favorite coffee shop, or whatever. And this gives you this sense of just being in an environment that is that is familiar to you. This is also nice to get out of the home a lot, and I know it's very slippery right now, but you gotta do it. And also when we first moved to Oslo, I felt that a big challenge is public transportation. So that also after a while of living in a big city, you get to know some stations, which exit to take from the station when you want to go out to which part of the city. And that also gives me this peace that when you don't walk all the time in Google Maps, but you can do it by, you remember the way, or you remember the exit station, or you're not anxious. You can just sit in a subway and don't think and don't check all the time which station is it. But at some point you're familiar with stations and you're like more chilled and like you feel like Oslopolitan. And I have a funny story with that, because I don't know if you know, but I will explain to our listeners anyway, that in Oslo, the subway goes 2 lines, I think, go in the ring and then go farther. And this is like super confusing because you at the end you have like a few different directions that one subway is actually taking. So you can, if you want to go to the other side, the subway goes like that, and then like in the circle, you can really get lost in that, because if you don't understand the system, you can just see the number of subway, jump in, and then just it turns out that it doesn't go in your way, and to take this whole full circle, it takes subway like 30 minutes or something. So you can really be lost and just end up in a different place, because when you notice that it's not going in your direction, you just go off the subway and suddenly you're somewhere. So when we first moved to Oslo in August, I went with Felix to the city center. It was the last day before he started a kindergarten. We went to the city center to meet my friends who came from Krakow. We spent some time there. It was very easy to take subway from our place because we live at the top of the circle, of the ring. So all subways are going to the city center. So it was very easy. Okay, we went. We had a good time. It was very hot. We had ice cream. And then it was time to get back. I asked my husband if he's gonna pick us up from the station because Felix was tired and he had a bicycle and I had a backpack and it was like lots to carry. So he was already on the way. We were in a subway and I didn't really know the system with rings. So and I saw this really high building that is like next to our apartment. I saw it from the window because sometimes subway goes on the up on the surface.
Yes.
So I saw it through the window and then we were like going away from it and not going towards it. I was like, shit, what is it? And then I understood the ring. So I just got out on the next stop and from there was no subway directly to our station. So I just called Piotr and it's like, oh my God, maybe you can just drive and pick us up. But as we were waiting, and I still had the valid ticket because it's for 1 hour. And we were in the direction of the Soxvan, which is a lake. I thought like, why don't we go there? So I took Felix. We went to the last station, which is the lake. And it's like 5 minutes walking from the station to lake. And it was very hot day. So we just played in the water. Felix was happy. We didn't have a towel. We didn't have a bathing suit, nothing. Piotr came and I was like, oh, but I told you we're at the lake. Where are towels? Like, you didn't tell me to bring towels. Like, oh my God. But I was like, I'm not going to resign from this idea. I was swimming in my underwear. Then I just put some other clothes on me and it was fun. So then the subway thing could be very frustrating if you don't have time and if you're stressed about it. But at that time, I discovered Songsvan and now it's like one of my favorite places in Oslo. And I thought that Oslo is the kind of a city where you can just go into the subway and end up swimming in the lake in your underwear if you are me. So, but anyway, the outcome, or what I wanted to say, is that after living here some months and after calling few times my sister from stations like, is the 4 subway with this and this direction, will it take me home? And she would say like, yes, okay. So I would like use her as my call center.
But after some months, share that your sister lives here in Oslo for many years.
Some years, yeah, like 5 or something. So now she understands it very, very well. Also, she told me at the beginning she was lost on all the time. So after living here some months, now I understand. If anyone ever needs information on subway, call me. I'll try to support you.
I will call you.
So it definitely takes some time to feel like home again in a new place. And interestingly enough, in Norway, immigrants makes up to 20% of population. So the good thing is that it's so many people that needs to find a home here. You can share this experience with many, many people, like I share with Dariella, for example, and so many more friends. And this also makes me feel...
Yes, it's amazing, but creating these new good experiences, like the one you have in the lake, makes also that sense of, yeah, this is the right place. I can have fun here. And then you want to return, and it's part of your road, part of your journey.
Yeah, like making some mistakes and finding a way. It's the best when you have also like resources to enjoy that. If you are not stressed about it, which is easy to say. If someone is stressed, it's easy to say, oh, just don't be stressed. But maybe just believing in yourself and trusting that it will be a home, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Should we jump into the exercise?
Yeah. Let's do the exercise. Let's do it and sit comfortably wherever you are. You need 20 minutes. So or you do it now together live with us, or you save the episode and you can watch it later. Okay, so if you're driving, please don't do it because it's
Don't
required
close
to
your eyes.
Please don't close your eyes. Okay, so let's start. Sit comfortably and let's dive into how we can make our home our refuge. Yeah, it has three parts. In the first part, we are going to close our eyes, okay? And I'm going to guide you, and we are going to explore this tool in order to create a familiar and welcoming environment in your house, apartment, or room, or any part of your, and live it. So we need to feel it, but we want to feel it with our eyes closed because we're going to go a little deep in our mind. So, saying that, step number one, close your eyes, sit comfortably, relax your legs, and take 3 deep breaths, emptying your mind. Empty your mind from whatever you have to do later. Just exhale, relax your body, and breathe normally. Then continue breathing normally. And we're gonna make a visualization. No? So you're gonna imagine, visualize your ideal home. So let's see a door in front of us. Imagine a door. You can make a big wood door, the old ones, with a metal lock, and you open it up. Push a little, it's a hard, heavy door. And you're gonna enter, you're gonna enter to your ideal home. So open that door and come in. And starting imagining, looking, sensing every detail. It doesn't matter if you feel it, you look at exactly if there are details and no details. Just look, observe, you can find in these rooms. If there is light coming through a window, the type of decor, furniture, and mentally walk through your home. We can start in the kitchen. Look for the kitchen. Look around, see the oven, the color of the cupboard, of shelves, and then move to the dining room. Do you see a wooden table or a table that has a glass on top? How many chairs are there? Which is the shape of this table? Then the living room, is it connected? Is there a big sofa there? Which is the color of the furniture? And then walk through the house to the bedrooms. Try to find them. Enter to the bedroom and I leave you alone there to observe. Observing the space, the windows, or the balcony, or the terrace. You can look through it and see the landscape around this ideal home. What do you see? Now, still with your eyes closed, see the elements, especially what predominates. Colors predominate. Are there plants? Is there one plant? And given a final look at your ideal place, where would you spend most of the time? Don't push it, just observe. Just see. Give a final look and walk through the door where you entered and open your eyes. Okay. This visualization, you can do it for longer in your house. You'll find the moment and make these observations, these same questions to yourself while you do it. And then come the step number 2. Now is the moment to put it in paper. So write it down. Take a notebook, take just a sheet of paper, empty sheet of paper, and you can write down everything you saw. Something maybe a color that was this color, or it was this lamp, this type of window, this type of table, this number of chairs, this place that I would like to spend the most the time, or this kind of leather stool or coffee chair in front of a TV or next to the bookshelves. Write it down. And as a homework, because we're not doing that now, you are gonna spend some time also with colors of pencils, pens, drawing. Make a drawing of what you remember or what really caught your attention of this special place. I hope you have some colors or pencils in your home to put down what was more dominant in your visualization. And then before going to step number 3, I would like to ask Nina, now that you are doing it, what came to your mind while you were closing your eyes and visualizing your ideal home?
Someone just came for cuddles.
I was hearing.
Yeah, she was like walking around and licking my hand and everything. There were big windows, of course, because it's Norway and I need every tiny sun ray that there is in the nature. There was a balcony in the sleeping room. Because I really like to have a balcony. Although I don't know if, I had in a previous house in Horton. I had it. I had the terrace from sleeping room. And the practical thing about it is that when I don't know how cold is it and what to wear, I go on the balcony in my pajama or like half naked or something. Check what's the weather like. How does it feel? And then I know what to wear. So
I wouldn't advise to do it where you live right now because you have a whole kindergarten in front of you.
Yeah, I will use another balcony, but that's why it would be nice to have this small balcony from the sleeping room in some place. I mean, also I visualize, only nature outside. So I don't know where I'm gonna find this place, but ideally, I would rather look at the mountains, waterfalls, stuff like that, than other buildings.
Colors.
And the kitchen.
What? Tell me.
The kitchen would be blue because that's my favorite color, but it would be light blue, so like kind of like a French cafe style, like cute. Definitely not one of these modern Norwegian sterile kitchens, but it would be more cute with some details. Yeah. What's more? Lots of plants, of course, and paintings, but that And I also visualized sauna. That would be nice to have at home. In Norway, it's so possible that it's actually manageable.
Well, this exercise helps us to see the big picture, like what would we love. It's ideal. I didn't say, hey, I have $1 million, now go on mission. Boy, idea us. But wait, it's interesting the elements that came to your mind right now. Because this exercise, you do it in 3 years, and you're going to see something different. And at this very moment came the balcony, came the kitchen, 2 places. With some functionality, with some details, which in a smaller scale, you can bring down to your place. You have to consider your budget, you are renting, won't require great changes in infrastructure or the wall. But which elements of this French light blue cuisine could you have in your kitchen? And I would also, I think the balcony is an important place because I know her apartment because we are friends and I've been there. And I know that her balcony now is her husband's bicycle parking because he's a biker. Bicycles, a lot of bicycles. So, which, no, in this mix of husband and wife and Felix and dog, which advantage can you take of that space? That makes you feel, oh, a little paradise. Because when I say my paradise, I don't mean that I live in a mansion and I have everything I always wanted to have in a boat outside. No, it means that I have certain elements that I can spend some time. Because the last question is very important in the exercise. Where would you spend most of the time? So spend some time where you enjoy just contemplating or reading a book or going through the messages, but it's a place where you feel this is cozy, this is warm. Look into home common, look into nature or with the nature, making like this bamboo cell or vertical garden. I'm just throwing ideas. It doesn't have to be that. It's just to say that if we pay attention to what we really like and we put some effort, we can really build a house where we can have our special place. Even if we share it with others. We have, in our cases, we are married, we have a husband and children. And if you share with a friend, the same. What does she like? What can I use? What can I do? And you don't have to invest a lot. Like when I did this exercise some weeks back, I did a little space in my house where I like to read. It's just a little place with 2 shelves, with a plant, but with the beautiful plants that I like. And it feels, it's a place that it's ready for me to read. It just has a function. It's ready for me to just sit and immediately my mind soothes when I'm there. And it's mine. I made it. So it makes also gives you that sense of belonging.
Yeah, I feel that also now as a mother, it's very important to have some of my personal space, like my notebooks and stuff like that, and like a place to work, to think and stuff. Because when you have kids, it's like they are taking all of your personal space with cuddling, not to mention pregnancy, breastfeeding, and everything. And it feels that even our sleeping room, it's not only ours. It's like not me, my and my husband, but sometimes Felix would say it's our room. So like he's expanding. I think this is important to have some. Ideally, it would be a room, but of course, there isn't always so much space. So even if you have your own corner of the room, as you described, like a chair and some books and some decorations that you feel it's like it's mine and I feel good in here, definitely I would take advantage of the light. So I always like the most living room in the it's the always the most my favorite room in the place, because it usually has the biggest windows and the best space where I can also dance. So yeah, usually I enjoy living rooms the most, but I enjoyed the exercise. It was nice to like stop for these few minutes and really think about it with your guided exercise. That was nice. Thank you.
Thank you for doing it, and be thankful also for thinking in yourself, right? Because you're not diving into your husband's mind or the neighbors or the owner of the apartment. You're thinking in yourself. You're taking the time. Okay, I'm always compromising, and I'm my mother. Okay, so I'm thinking about toys, how to keep toys together. No, I'm thinking now in myself. So and that leads us to the third step, which is take action. Now we took time to see what would I like in the house, where, already make a drawing, see which key elements are, and now take these main elements that has inspired you the most from your visualization and find a corner in your place, in your home, where you can create something similar. It doesn't need to be a big budget. We have no sponsors, but there are big places like IKEA is. You could just go and find something that it doesn't require much money, but creativity and love, self-love for what you're creating.
Yeah, love for yourself.
Yeah. So it could be a corner in your bedroom or in your home office. So in these new times, also that's important. If you're working from your home, where are you looking? Behind the screen, or it doesn't matter so much the background. What are you looking? No, at least if you spend many hours like me here, it's a place that I like. It has to have details that are resonate with myself and are familiar to myself. Even as an example, no? These are singing bowls from India. It's not something you find here. It's something I bring in from every country I move. I bring singing bowls and my stuff, and that's important for me. I didn't bring my whole house. That's so staying in Peru. But these little details that makes me look, as I look at them, I feel I'm full. This is my space. I'm comfortable here. It brings me peace because, like in the lake, you create it with things that sometimes good experiences in your house. Create good experiences so you can think at it in as a happy place to always go. So that's for today, right? That's the exercise, the tips, our stories for today about how we make our home a cozy and familiar home.
Yeah. One thing that in winter it's good to put more light into the apartment now. It feels better to recompensate for what's out there. You can see that many in like so many houses and apartments you see in windows these stars and all kinds of lights, and that's important nowadays.
And a wood fire. Whoever has an oven, wood fires, and who doesn't, they put on the screen on the TV. That's very new to me.
That is so hilarious.
I knew this 3 months ago and only. In the screen, you put a channel on one of these streaming services and you have a fire. Even some little music there, I think.
Yeah, there was on Netflix. There was also, they are not our sponsors, but my son is my son is a fan of Paw Patrol TV show for kids. And we saw on Netflix that for Christmas there was some kind of movie that the miniature image was that these puppies were sleeping in front of the fireplace. And I thought that it's some kind of like a new episode or a new show or something. And he was so excited because it was like Yule themed, Christmas themed, and I played it, and it was just that puppy sleeping in front of the fire. So it was the same what you talk about, but for kids. And I was like,
what? Keep you company.
Hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. But we were very disappointed because we thought it's a new show. No.
Wow. Well, see you in our next episode where we are going to talk about our way in Norway on winter.
Yeah, there's a lot to look for in the new episode, and I think that a lot of people are waiting for this kind of talk. And remember that now we are on YouTube, so if you are listening to us, you can also watch our videos on YouTube, so subscribe there. There was a special guest today, as I might talk briefly, so you can check it out. And also follow Koselig Café podcast on Instagram to get in touch with us, to get some updates, and most importantly, to tell us what you like, what you would like to hear us talking about. That's very important because we want to be useful, and we will love to hear from you there. Thank you so much today, both Dariella and our audience.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Ha det bra.
Yeah, thank you. Ha det bra.